Hello, stream. Hello. Hello, hello. Good Sunday evening. I'm going to check this is working, as I always do, as I've failed in the past. Sounds like it is. Hello, everyone live on YouTube. Also, hello, everyone watching this back on YouTube. Hello, welcome to Saddlebags and Sabres point 3, or Mark 3, or third episode. Tim, Thomas, Mark, hello. And Go For It Painting, hello, welcome in. I will say now I'm feeling much better than I was last Sunday, which is very good. Makes things a bit easier. And I've been sat here. I've actually had. Sorry, I'm just going to get this set up a minute. I've actually had quite a busy day for hobbying, which has been nice. So yeah, I've just put a post up on Facebook, up on the YouTube. I've just shown off a couple of pictures of what I've been up to today. So I've actually managed to get on and base a load of my miniatures, American Civil War stuff. So all the artillery we've just done on previous streams, that's all based up now. 14th Brooklyn now based up. So yeah, it was a good day. Yeah, so it's been a good day. So yeah, and now here we are on a Sunday evening to carry on with our cavalry. So yeah, how's everyone's weeks been? Good weeks, good weekends. You guys working on anything? Do chat. Let me know. Just waiting on that. I'll show off what I've literally just been sat here for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I've just chucked some wildwood onto the saddle and the saddlebags. Just thought I'd test it, see what I think, and it just looks good. So the stirrup bits I'm going to be doing as black leather, I think. But apart from that, wildwood I'm fairly happy with. So the state of play from last weekend. Got water on the table. I just filled up my water. I think I spilled it. Right, state of play. So last week, the Texas Lancers, we managed to get all the bridle and reins and stuff painted up. So really, the next point now is probably start doing all the saddles. However, the 1st Virginia Cavalry are not done with their reins and that. So I think we're going to start off with that, see how far we get. See if I get fed up. Make sure I pick the right black. Thomas says, I've been busy whilst redoing my Irish Brigade. I got the 69th New York completed. Very nice. Hope to get the 88th completed and redone. Didn't happen. Got my 63rd repainted. Just needs basing now. Very nice. Very nice. So on topic then for some American Civil War stuff. Very nice. Yeah, like I said, I was basing up my 14th Brooklyn, as well as just a load of models that I've had. Which actually, that's just reminding me, I had some dismounted cavalry over there, which I could have based up at the same time, which I forgot. So yeah, these chaps are now based up. The glue hasn't set yet, so I was using PVA, which has like a white base to it. So it makes everything look a lot greener. That glue's not dried yet, which is strange. It's very old PVA glue, so maybe there's an issue there, but we'll leave it overnight and see what happens. But yeah, based up loads. Pretty much, well, in fact, I have based up basically my whole artillery collection, which I'm going to take a punt at probably like 25 guns, 25 pieces of artillery that I've based up today, as well as a regiment of infantry and a command stand. And then I've got these chaps that I've finished painting as well. So they're now on their bases. So these are the advancing posed infantry from, or charging posed infantry from Warlord Games. So they're based. I've picked up a. I don't know if I've shown this off yet. But it's something. A theory of mine. I'm going to see how it goes. So I don't know if I've showed this off yet. I bought this Gorilla Glue a while back, as in like a couple of weeks ago. It's just like a white sort of an acrylic glue sort of thing. So it's slightly rubbery, but it was cheapish compared to super glue. And I thought I'd just give it a go at just like anything big that I'm gluing down and I'm happy to let set for a while. Just thought I'd give that a go. So we'll see. Mark, I woke up with a headache, created some content, that's my Sunday done. Well, ups and downs then, mate. But yeah, very good. I'm actually, before the stream started, I was watching your content, so. Thomas says, also doing the Louisiana Zouaves for a friend while our grand campaign is on hold. Our referee and campaign manager is now on holiday for 2 weeks, so I got some tidying done up for this week and next. Nice. And then once they're back off holiday, you're back into it. Have you had any games since last Sunday, Thomas? I'll make it a regular thing on the stream of just the grand campaign update. So it sounds good. I think we'll carry on with the. I'm going to do a couple of these. Although last stream it took all stream to do them. The sort of reins and the strapping, which I don't want to particularly do for an entire stream. So we might go back to the Texas Cavalry and finish off the saddles. We'll see. I wouldn't mind getting on and getting these done. Purely because I want to. I've got another stream lined up, which I'm looking forward to doing. So kind of ulterior motive, really. But we get on with these, get these done. I don't know if I showed off on stream or spoke about it, but I've got the some mounted command from Warlord Games. I bought them, so I wouldn't mind getting on and getting them painted, perhaps. As well as the ambulance, which will be next. Once this cavalry's done, we'll be doing the ambulance next. So since we were talking last stream, I'm sorry that I can't remember who mentioned it, but they told me to look into a Pennsylvania Lance Regiment cavalry. So I had a look, which is I found them. They were cool. They were issued lances, which it would be cool to get maybe some Union lances on the table. And I've been looking a lot at Battlecat miniatures, 3D prints. And what I've found, what's that? How have I skill? No, I haven't done. Yeah, so with the Battlecat, so there's a company down the road from me, Bristol Independent Gaming, and there's a chap there, Jim, and he runs a 3D printing business called Big Jim Prints. It's not sponsored, but maybe I should have had to speak to him and got a sponsorship. However, my point is he sells Battlecat prints for the American Civil War, and I'm very, and it seems really affordable price wise. So I'm really tempted to make a purchase on some Battlecat miniatures. I've got distracted. That's not what I was talking about. What I was talking about was Battlecat miniatures. They sell some STL files for Lancer arms, which I think would go well with Perry miniatures. So you could almost take a box set of Perry miniatures and use the 3D printed Lancer arms. So I think I'm half tempted to do that. And yeah, do the Pennsylvania Lancers. So yeah, thanks for the recommendation. Anyway, Tim, I've got a sharp practice game. Oh, hang on, we missed something here. Tim said, I'm busy with basing. I ran out of light green static grass and I'm too impatient to wait for delivery, so I grabbed a sheet of flots paper and started scraping it off. Messy, but it works. Fair play, fair play. Tim's also got a sharp practice game on the table that's on hold. My opponent wasn't able to show it today. Sorry to hear it. Next time. Yeah, I'm actually low on static grass myself, but I'm using like what's called a summer green static grass, which is quite light, and I had what's called an autumn green static grass bag of, because I bought them for testers, which was a bit dark for me. But what I've done is I've basically mixed that in with the summer grass, not to the point that it's toned it down too much, but just so I can spread out about a bit. Wardrobe Plays, hello, welcome in. Never painted many horses. I've not, to be honest. I think in my American Civil War collection currently, I've got about 16 cavalry painted up. Oh, yeah, exclude officers, mounted officers. But yeah, right there. I've got a few mounted officers. So I've got about 16 cavalry in my ACW collection. I've got about 16 Gaelic cavalry. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else. Yeah. Oh, Norman. So some Norman cavalry I've done as well. Someone said our last one was Wednesday. Had some bad losses personally and had some bad rolls. Currently, campaign standing is in March 1862. Confederates in good standing. Union has a few blunders. Very historic. Yeah, sounds about right. But let's hope. Well, the Union might have a. The Union are probably going to start turning that around soon if we're going off by any historic. If we're following anything historically. But also, Thomas, I am doing a diorama with the great coats for a friend who is leaving the group. Nearly finished it. His favourite battle is Fredericksburg, and his favourite movie is Gods and Generals. So it fits both. Nice. I've said it before. I did enjoy Gods and Generals. I remember watching a film review about it where someone was basically heavily criticising the film and its pace and saying how something that I actually liked in the film, but they made a point of sort of talking about all the battles and stuff, and Fredericksburg being one of them. I just quite like that. I remember this film review being quite critical of it. But I myself quite enjoyed that. So yeah. Welcome in anyway, Wardrobe. Sorry, I did say welcome in. But are you working on anything at the moment? You got anything on the table? Doing a bit of hobbying maybe tonight? We're just working through these couple of cavalry regiments. So we've got the some Texas Lancers and almost broken. These are pretty brittle. These are 3D prints by myself, but they are brittle. Just got some black contrast paint on the trooper's hand, so now that's fine. I think when it comes back to it, I'll just have to touch them up, go back in and with the white and just pick out any bits I've gone over with. Nice. It does look nice having this the black reins against the horse skin. Again, horses are a tricky one, I think, just because there's a lot of skin and flesh, so it can all look a bit samey unless you're skilled at painting and you can pattern your horses and stuff, which I would not say I am. But I'm thinking that this having these reins there is just enough to break up that block of colour. Tom says I like the movie, but I don't like how they didn't make me more historic. He didn't keep Burnside's company, but made the charge with his brigade. Yeah, fair enough. I think the thing with Gods and Generals is it's very cinematic, isn't it? It's I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if you can claim it being a super historically accurate film. I would say it's an entertaining film. I don't know if I'd say it was historically accurate, which I can forgive, I think. I know that's meant to be hair, but it's all good to get to. Cool. The bugler. There. Some absolutely lovely dynamic poses on these models. Thomas, personally, I find it over dramatized. Tried to mix between Gettysburg and a drama. Oh yeah, 100% is dramatized. Yeah. Well, just look at the character of Stonewall Jackson in the film. I think he's very intense. Yeah, I don't know whether Gettysburg was a history buff film, whereas yeah, I don't know whether Gods and Generals is more entertainment. But yeah, I like the film. It's a good film. I think it's a good film. Purely for just someone who just wants content of the American Civil War, it's just nice to have it there. Mm-mm-mm. Um, Tom said I've been trying to watch a show called North and South, but can't find the full show. I wish there were more Civil War movies. Yeah, I did that with North and South a while ago. Tried to find it, but I couldn't find it in its entirety. I don't know if someone said in one of the chats or on one of the streams that it's available somewhere. I can't quite remember now. It might be on YouTube. I remember looking years ago trying to find it on YouTube and just kind of found bits and bobs of it. I didn't find the full series. I'll tell you what, I will talk a bit more about Battle Cat. So Battlecat did a Kickstarter recently for STL files for the American Civil War. I missed it. But yeah, I've been looking at some of their stuff recently, and it's very nice. I'm torn between buying the files myself and printing them myself, or like I said, I got Big Jim's prints up the road. I don't know if I just pay and have it printed by them, because it's almost the same cost for the files for them to print it for me. And unless I'm printing loads, then there's no point saving on the files by printing it myself. And I'm thinking of perhaps just having a couple of artillery pieces painted, and maybe just a regiment or two of infantry. Now they do have the 79th New York in kilt. It is their sculpts, which look very cool. Now I know they don't really wore kilts. Well, I didn't know they wore kilts. I thought they wore trousers, but I believe they wore kilts at First Bull Run, and then after then they shifted to just the US standard attire. But it would be nice to have, although I'd be nervous about trying to paint kilts. But it would be a nice unit to have. So I could maybe purchase some printed 79th New York. It's also just nice to have some different miniatures in the mix. So yeah, I'm gonna look into it. I think I'm gonna look into it and have a think. But yeah, so like the pricing from Big Jim's prints, I think he was. I didn't check if it was postage or not, but the files themselves, I think, or the prints themselves, I think it's done in like a 24-man infantry unit for £20. 20 British pounds, which I think's reasonable. The STL files themselves are £15. So if I bought the STL files myself and printed them myself, there wouldn't be much of a save, unless I was going to be printing loads of them. There's not really much of a saving. So yeah, so it's £20 for an infantry unit. And they sell artillery, so an artillery gun and crew, £8 for that. Again, I don't think that's that bad. Now, it's a lot less faff than me printing it myself. So part of me thinks, yeah, just pay to have someone else print them for me, basically. And again, I don't really need artillery at the moment because we've just painted up a load and I've still got some sat there ready to paint. But it would be nice to just have some, like I say, that variation. Because from what I've seen, the files look lovely. Prints it really nice. Ah, there we go. So, thank you, Thomas. So, historically, the 79th New York wore tartan trews in the battle, but kilts on parade. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. And then I thought someone corrected me or a stream or two ago, that they wore kilts. I thought they wore trousers, basically, but they call them trews. Yeah, I thought that. But yeah, the Battlecat miniatures have them sculpted with kilts, which again, historically accurate or not, that would be cool to have on the table. So, rule of cool. Who knows? Could be something to look into. And again, I'm trying to think who else does the 79th New York. Is it Sash and Sabre? No, I've seen them now and I can't remember who does them. There is a manufacturer or maybe a couple that do them. So. But yeah, either way, it would be cool to have those kilts. Did I do those? No, I've not done that. And when I get the fire zoo I was painted up, I've got to buy them yet. But if I get them painted up, then I'm halfway to doing first ball run. Yeah, the Glengarry hats, which again is just a nice, just a bit of difference, isn't it, on the table. It's again my argument of fielding zouaves when you can. Just brings that colour to the table. I think this brush has given up the ghost. I think. Struggling to keep its tip. Let's give this one a go. This is a bigger brush, but like a nice tip to it. So, if anyone wants to know, I'm just trying the Army Painter Hobby Brush Standard Brush. See how it goes. I've in the past normally always bought sort of a cheap brush, just because I never find my brushes last. Don't know if that's just down to me being too rough with them or what, but they never seem to last very long. What time? Oh, half an hour and we've almost done all the straps and stuff on the first Virginia. Almost said first New York. Because we've been talking about New York stuff. Oh yeah, Mark, it's funny you say about watching The Knight's Tale. Are you watching that because of the We Were Spacemen podcast? Must remember about the British Zulu heads for when I redo my Wheats Tigers. Oh, is that because of the straw hats, Thomas? If so, that's yeah, good idea. Mark says, absolutely yes. I do like that actor. Robert Baratheon actor, I do like him. I thought he was great as Robert Baratheon in Game of Thrones. He's great in Knight's Tale. I think, is he in the Full Monty as well? I think he's in the Full Monty. In fact, he is in the Full Monty. I'm sure of it. Yes, my Wheats Tigers are all wearing the fez. Yeah, mine are modelled with fez. Again, I think they did it during First Manassas, and then it all just got away from them. Right. It's actually got a broken rain on this, I hadn't realised, but I'm just going to pretend I never saw it. They're so fiddly, these rains, when you're trying to take them off the supports. You're so careful. Because they're just breaking the whole time. Hello, John. Welcome in. Welcome in. Trying to figure out what some of this sculpting is. I think the rain's just going everywhere. Catch it all. Right. How are you, John? Anyway, have you had a good weekend? Is there anything you're working on at the moment? My tigers have a mix of straw hats, fezzes, and cappies. I'm pretty sure I've mixed up. Couplands and Wheats uniforms. Yeah, because it's Coppens, isn't it? Coppens Zouaves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had cappies. And obviously Wheats Tigers had, I think, fezzes, and then the like straw hats. But yeah, Thomas also said Bull Run they did mostly wear fezzes. At first Bull Run, that is. Although their army is based on the Peninsula campaign on Etium. So yeah, you'd get those older, different uniforms, yeah. To break up working on infantry, working on some battlefield markers now. Using some damaged cannons to be used when I lose a gun. A battery loses gun. That's a cool idea. I'd be up for doing more casualty markers. Just for like table debris. That'd look quite smart, I think. I love having debris and casualties in my games. Yeah, it's not something I've done a lot with, really, but I have Coopins, Zouaves, and Wheat's Tigers. They would merge for Antietam due to staying in heavy casualties. After Antietam, of the 2 regiments, only 12 were fit for duty. Yeah, blimey. I'm right thinking of Texas Brigade had a big heavy casualties in Antietam as well. Seeing the carnage on the game table makes me appreciate my troops playing more strategically. Yeah, you're right. Also, it's where you maybe have a big fight and you have casualties sort of scattered around. It just adds a bit more of a story to the table. If you leave casualties there. And if you like taking photos of your games, it looks good as well. Talking of casualties, here's one of my casualties. He's being shot as he's riding. Now, this was just a bit of a fun miniature to have, but because a few of my miniatures failed, to make up out just kind of piecing together what I have, I've chucked him in there just so I can field a full unit without having to do more prints. Yeah. Jeb Stewart's in the chat. Hello, the Jeb Stewart. I can't believe it. What an honour. Texas Brigade had 84% casualties. Yeah, they were in the wheat field, is it? Yeah. Jeb Stewart says Redoubt Civil War figures are really cool with many poses and a lead material and no plastic. Yeah, I've actually just painted up quite a bit of Redoubt in my artillery and really enjoyed the poses. Really nice stuff. So yeah, I agree. And they're just full of character as well, the poses, which is nice. Which I think you kind of lose in a multi-part plastic kit. But they serve different purposes, I think. How are you, Jeb? Anyway, you good? Welcome in. You got any projects on the go? Anything on tonight, or is it just a relaxing one? I'm going to attempt to. Oh, there you go, Jeb. You like this as well. Assuming you are the real Jeb Stewart. We're working on the 1st Virginia Cavalry currently. So. Right, what's I saying? John, I'm all good. I painted some epic Warlord American Revolution militia. Very nice. It is nice, that epic stuff, I must admit. Well, when I say it's nice, I like seeing other people do a good job with it. Not sure if it's for me. Thomas says, like Tim, seeing a few destroyed cannons and dead troops on the table make me feel like, oh god, I've sent them to their death. I watched this takes me back actually. I can't even remember the name of the channel actually. That's bad. So he's an Australian. I don't want to upset now. It's either Australian or New Zealand, one or the other. Admittedly, he did a lot of Warhammer 30k Horus Heresy. This was years back when it was a more niche system. He did battle reports. and he would do little blood splatter tokens. So if a unit died, he'd put this little blood splatter on the table, but then he'd leave it all there leave it there all game. So you might have a unit run over here, do a bit of fighting, few died, and then move on, and you just have these like dotted around the table, and it was just quite cool to see that. Again, it kind of tells a bit of a story, which I quite liked. Wasn't there a Confederate company from Virginia that wore Revolutionary War uniforms? Yes. I want to say it's a company of the 33rd Virginia, but I could be wrong, because I know that. Am I right thinking there was a company of the 33rd Virginia, which were an Irish company? They took a green flag, so maybe it was a company of the 27th. But yeah, they wore like tricorns and stuff. I don't. Yeah, I think it was deliberate. They deliberately wore that style of uniform. And yeah, I believe they wore it at First Bull Run, and I think that's depicted in the film Gods and Generals. You see them marching or something like that in their uniforms. But yeah, it was one from Stonewall Brigade. I should have said that. It's one of those regiments in the Stonewall Brigade, or company from a regiment in the Stonewall Brigade. But yeah, I don't think they were old uniforms. I think they were deliberately styled in the old fashion. I remember hearing someone telling me once that it was uniforms they'd found in an old warehouse or something like that, but no, I don't think so. I think it was purpose made in the old style. Maybe to symbolise that they were facing their own rebellion. Yeah, Company E of 33rd Virginia, Emerald Guard, there we go. Yeah, I had a feeling it was there. As for leaving markers there the whole game, as we remove casualties, we leave a casualty marker where the soldier died. Yeah, that's a cool little. Again, yeah, it just adds a bit more narrative to it, I think. It's a very cool idea, actually. Something I wouldn't mind doing myself at some point. If I ever play a game, that is. Few and far between at the moment. Me playing a game. Right. Oh. Cool. Right, that's all the leather's done. I think what we'll do now is go on to the saddles. Because once the saddles are done, just the trooper then, really. And the 1st Virginia I'm going to do very uniform. I think I'll do the grey with their sort of black piping. I don't know if yeah, I'm not sure if I want to maybe give them some blue trousers. All the photos I'm seeing, they wear all grey. They're quite uniform. So yeah, I think I will do that. Let's keep them all grey. Yeah, we'll do that. Keep them all grey. Major General Jeb Stewart says, "Good night all. Have a good time painting your army. I hope to see more cavalry units with a classic yellow cap, yellow trimming, collar and cuff, and blue pants." That sounds too Union to me, Major General, but thank you. I thought you'd prefer a bit more grey, but we'll let you off. But yeah, joking aside, the yellow trimming and stuff like that for the cavalry, I think, is quite nice. I've said before, like maybe over exaggerating certain elements of uniforms just so it looks nice on the table. Like for example, going a bit red with the artillery, with their caps and whatnot. I think with the cavalry. Now, I don't think I will do it for these two regiments actually, just because 1st Virginia, I don't think they really had yellow piping or anything like that. However, Texas Lancers, again, I don't think they will. I'm thinking about expanding my Confederates from a Louisiana Brigade and a Tennessee Brigade. Going to do Cobb's Georgia Brigade, 24th Georgia, Cobb's Georgia Legion, 16th Georgia, and 15th North Carolina. What Georgia Brigade did I do? I'll find out. Because yeah, I basically did GT Anderson's brigade. They're all Georgians. Let me find. Probably gone past it now. Oh, Benning's brigade as well. But yeah. Right, that's that done. Not snake bite. Wildwood. Let's try and get some progress made. And then I got to think about the blanket rolls as well. I fell into a trap of doing so. I was doing some Studio Historia infantry, which I'm just not really happy with how they turned out. Here is actually a couple of them. Some of the elements I really liked, but the blanket rolls, I just wanted to keep doing different colours. So, for example, this chap's got green. This one's got like a orangey, and I just don't like them. Too colourful. So I wonder if I'm just going to bring it back to basics and just do dark black or dark grey blanket rolls and just keep it a bit uniform. Right. So let's paint these saddles. Chose the Georgia Legion because at Fredericksburg, after Cobb wounded a man from Belfast, took command. Oh yeah, so Cobb's brigade were Irish, or Cobb's Legion was Irish, right? As depicted in Gods and Generals. I'm seeing quite a few messages retracted. Is that you guys deleting them, or is that YouTube having a weird one and just removing them? Make sure if it's you guys, that's fine. I just don't want. Just want to know if it's YouTube being funny. Okay. I've had a few messages from Thomas now retracted, and then one of Jeb Stewart's messages retracted. I don't know what's going on. I wasn't sure if people were just deleting messages they sent themselves, or if YouTube's having a grump and wait, let some messages go. My guess would be if it's YouTube being funny, I assume the word, it might just sort of ping up anything that's to do with Confederates, for example. That would be my guess. But yeah. Saddle. I'm doing the saddle and the boots at the moment. Oh, okay. No, that's fine, Thomas. As long as it's as long as you're okay. I didn't know if it was just being YouTube was being funny. So Cobb's Georgia Legion and most of Cobb's brigade were Irish. Between Cobb's Georgians and the Louisianans were the closest to the Southern Irish Brigade. Yeah, very cool. You go and you get those green flags out. I'm always a fan of the green flags. But yeah, I'm doing the boots Wildwood, and then there's part of the stirrups that come down and go over the toe of the boot. I'm going to paint them black just to match the rest of the rigging with the horses. Be as neat as I can here, but this is awkward. My favourite unit is the Confederate 1st Texas Cavalry. I like their light blue cap with the yellow band. Oh, I see. Cool. Yeah, I've not looked at them, to be honest. Yeah, and I printed off these Texas Lancers, so yeah, they're getting the. I do have 2 units of Confederate cavalry painted up with no flags, so I'll probably have to find them a home at some point. Give them a name, because yeah, I painted up a long time ago, but never really assigned them to anything. I wish the Southern regiments had more green flags. Only the company E 33rd Virginia had one, 8th Alabama and 10th Tennessee. Yeah, I've got the 10th Tennessee in my collection, but again, that was just the flags, really. Do you like them flags? I'm getting all the nooks and crannies, but it's awkward. But I think what I'll do is I'll just chuck a wash. A wash on there and just try getting all the crevices I can't do right now. Thomas says, I suppose that's why I chose a union, more green flags. I mean, you could always sort of go with, yeah, obviously we like to follow historical accuracies, but I mean, it's nothing stopping you doing your own, isn't it? It's what I kind of quite like about the Napoleonic, like the Napoleonic French, like the battalions. The first battalion would have the tricolour, I think, or tricolour, and I can't remember what. Actually, the French might only have one flag, but the second battalion would just have like a coloured flag, and the third battalion would be a different coloured flag. So actually, that looks quite cool on the table, having these like different. So like, yeah, the first battalion I think carried an eagle as well, which I don't think the other battalions would. But yeah, you get these like cool different colour, and I think that looks cool. That could potentially look very cool on the table. Tell you what, these Texas Lancers are modelled with a stripe on their leg. So I wonder if I do put a yellow stripe on them. That'd look nice. Although the only problem is I don't have a yellow contrast paint in the moment. I lent it to someone. It's just round with detail, these saddles, but awkward to paint. So I'm going to try to do a good job on them, but sort of awkward to do. I think I'll just have to do multiple passes, so maybe once I'm finished here, go back and just touch up all the white bits, ready for another layer of contrast. We'll see. No, these cavalry blankets, I might just put them. Jeff says, green flag, how strange. I know there was a cavalry unit on the Mexican border who had green trimming on their sleeves and collar with all the grey uniform, but it seems that it was only the command group. Yes, I think, Tom, we're talking about the green flags being of sort of Irish regiments. They wore or they carried green flags. And yeah, they can be a bit of fun. It's always nice to see that on the table. Also, you might potentially not see as many green flags because the Confederates sort of adopted that single flag early on, whereas the Union kept like a state flag and a national flag. Confederate Irishes, I've learned something. Yeah, they were about. Who's I assume he was Irish. I don't know if he ended up becoming a divisional commander. Is it Mahone? Yeah, is it Mahone? Really aggressive Confederate commander. Real small, quite short in stature, but I think rated highly. Unless he was only a brigade commander. I mean, I've made the assumption he's Irish based on his name. Which is so Irish Confederates, which is weird when you consider they were fighting for states' rights. Not sure what you mean by that. I have a few Irish regiments I wish I could do, but can't get flags for the 37th New York and 9th Massachusetts. Do you know what I would do for that? Is just pick up generic state flags. So, yeah, I would just pick up a generic New York state flag set. And you could either then hand paint in the yeah, you could either then hand paint 37th New York on 9th Mass, or just leave it. That's what I've done with a lot of my Pennsylvania Reserve units. I just bought a load of Pennsylvania Reserve flags, and yeah, so they don't have battle honours on or anything like that. They're kind of just plain. Because for example, the Pennsylvania Reserves state flag is different to sort of other flags, so that's why I wanted to have the actual reserve flag rather than just using a. Because I'm pretty sure it's different to the Pennsylvania state flag as well. The reserves. So do GMB? Hey Steve, does GMB have any? GMB's got a good collection, so I don't know. I'd have to check. But welcome, Steve. Mahan was very pro-Confederate until 1861. His friend John Mitchell was a Confederate senator. Mahone, Claiborne, of course Claiborne, yeah. Strong, Cunningham, others were all Irish, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame they don't have what you want, Thomas. But yeah, I've done it in the past where I've gone for generic state flags if I'm doing a unit that's a bit cute, or you know that a company doesn't have flags for. So, for example, I did some South Carolina coloured infantry for the Union, and I think at the time I just bought some. I bought a Confederate South Carolina flag sheet, and then took the South Carolina state flag from that and put it with a Union national flag, and then just kind of pieced together a flag set. Then that way. I don't know if that was historically accurate, but that's what I did. It meant I could have the state flag of South Carolina. Tom was saying they carry very elaborate green Irish flags. I've considered printing some of them myself, but I can't get a good image to use. That's a shame. Sometimes, yeah, you just got to try and make the most of what you can. And sometimes sourcing can be very hard. This is where, if you're going for well-known units, you've got a lot of support there, because there tends to be a lot of stuff online, but if you're going for something a bit more niche, it's a pain to find everything. 99% of my flags come from G&B, all but 4 across my 30 regiments. I use Flags of War quite a bit. I do like theirs. But yeah, G&B does have a good mix. Good selection. But someone I know, I want to say it's... Oh, I can't even know now. Can't remember. But they hand paint all their flags. Admittedly, this wasn't for the American Civil War. It's for a different... I think it might have been medieval, but... Yeah, they were like, you just got to hand paint them all yourself. Which, they're not wrong. Like, you're going to get exactly what you want if you hand paint it yourself. I'm not that good, so... I'm not. And seeing as the flag makes such a difference to the unit, I don't mind spending a bit and having it looking nice. Hey. Can't find the flag now. Oh, that's a pain. I'm actually quite tempted to put yellow stripes on these legs of these guys. Just for something nice to look at. So, yeah. He's got a little saddlebags here. Paint them in. I think that's the officer. I'll go back and do a bit more gold detailing and all that. Benjamin Christensen, welcome in. From the dreary Denmark. Oh, where's dreary? Landschnecht, welcome in. Good afternoon from Arizona. Nice. Welcome in, welcome in. How is everyone? Sunday night for me over here. After a busy yesterday, but a nice and relaxed today, which has given me a lot of time to get some hobbying done. So, actually put up a post just before the stream started of a photo of what I've been up to. Feel free to check it out. But yeah, so just based up some miniatures that have been waiting patiently. So yeah, and now we're working on some cavalry. Yeah. So I have painted the blanket, sort of the underneath the saddle. I have painted that brown as well, but it's purely for simplicity. But yeah, welcome in. Whatever, is there anyone working on anything tonight, or are we just having a nice relaxed one? Starting to make a bit of progress on this cavalry after Had a bit of a slow stream last time because I finished a bit early because I was feeling unwell. So yeah, I just didn't really get a lot done. Whereas so far, we're getting there. Oh, I didn't paint this officer's boots. Best do that. Whereas these guys, yeah, obviously I'm batch painting sort of 2 regiments at a time. So I could do a bit more progress on the one to start with. Because once these saddles are painted, I've got all the blanket rolls I can do, I guess, but then I'm on to painting the trooper, really. Which will be nice to do. Paint on them. These are going to start really coming together. Just trying to get the biggest of the block painting done. Trying to not make a mess as well. Benjamin Christmas, good. Had a painting weekend, Friday to Saturday with old friends. We meet up twice a year to paint and watch movies for 2 days straight. Oh, sounds like heaven. Sounds like a good way to spend a bit of time. Nice one. Landsknecht, I'm painting up some Hexton Hills. What's Hexton Hills? Is that like Hexagon Hills? A bit like Callistra. They do some nice terrain, I must admit. I've been very tempted in the past to get some Callistra hexagon tile terrain. Yeah, who knows? I might still do it. This is why people paint troopers off the horse, isn't it? However, I didn't get the choice on this one because this is how they are printed. Got to think how I'm painting the canteens as well. Could potentially go for a blue canteen, purely because it's a bit of colour on there, which is king sometimes. Right. First volume, The Legend of Alexis McCoy. What have I missed here from Jeb? Right. I was painting French infantry for an 1812 project earlier. I need to have a big building session tomorrow. I do enjoy building miniatures, I must admit. I do enjoy it. What manufacturer are you using for that then, Steve? Thomas, one thing I'm glad about is that I now finished one of my university modules. I now have an extra day to hobby. Nice. Congrats on getting that work done, mate. Fair play, and now you get to reap the rewards and do a bit more hobbying. I've not done a lot of hobbying recently, to be honest. Purely because I've been playing a bit more PC games. So hobbying always takes a bit of a battering when that happens. But that's just finished basing, painting and basing 6 command bases for my Republican Roman army. Nice. Republican Rome. I do like Republican Rome. One of them armies I've always got a soft spot for, I think. And yeah, Steve said Perry. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Okay. So I need to go back in with a black and do a little bit of work on the boots and the stirrups. Ugh, yawning, blimey. Yeah, do a bit on the stirrups. Yeah. Part of me wants to just carry on with this. These Texas Lancers. I love Perry's Napoleonic range. Nice range of figures. Yeah, no, you're right. It is nice. Do you? I quite like Warlord Games Napoleonic stuff. The only thing is, there's a difference with pricing between Perry's and Warlord. Perry's have a bit more attractive price range. But I just like the way some of the Warlord stuff looks. It's just quite nice. Thomas says, Matt, have you ever played War of Rights? Would definitely be up your street. I'm just about to jump in. Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, I was playing a bit of the Halloween event they did. So I started playing it the other day with my mate Mark, who's in the chat. I was playing it the other day whilst chatting to Mark. And I was saying, we should definitely play it together. But at like 26 quid, I think it was, for the game, it was a bit to spend on just so we can mess around on a game. But then I got talking about Holdfast Nations at War, so we picked that up instead because it was like over half the price, and had a lot of fun on it. It's like it's like War Rights, just less cinematic, but it's just still enjoyable. War Rights good. It's very good. Do enjoy it. And I've had some good fun on it. Right, I will be assembling and painting some Italian Renaissance miniatures in the near future after my Hexton Hills project. Very nice. I imagine that's going to be quite a bit of painting work. I imagine they're quite colourful, are they? The Italian Renaissance stuff. Steve, been doing 48 miniature battalions. So price does help. Yeah, fair play, mate. That's where the Perry's comes in. Yeah, again, I do really like the Warlord game stuff, but price is definitely a factor in my opinion. And yeah, you just can't really beat that value with Perry's. And yeah, like makes you wonder why Perry's does it cheap. And I think Perry's have more complex miniatures than Warlord Games does. Not that's a damn like as this coming from someone who really likes the sculpts that Warlord Games does for their Napoleonic stuff. Yeah, you think how cheap Perry's have done it. Yeah, they've actually got a bit more complex poses and how the actual kit works. So yeah, strange. Alas, we don't need to figure it out. Not sure what to do. The colour to do the blanket rolls. It's either a grey or a black. I do the Union stuff a black because they have like those rubberized blankets, don't they? Like those Union soldiers. So it's which tends to be like a black. But I doubt the Union had their hands on that sort of stuff. They might have scavenged it. Anyway, Thomas says, I used to play always. Also, Holdfast I play regularly. In fact, the reason I'm late normally is because I play an event with my Holdfast regiment till 8 on a Sunday. Oh, that's cool. Fair play. Yeah, I've not... I mean, I've set up a regiment for myself on Holdfast. Just as a bit of fun for me and Mark when we play. But I got into a regiment on... War of Rights, but I could never really make the regiment like training days. So, and they had like a rank system in the regiment, which was cool, but I was sort of stuck at cadet because I had to perform. Basically, I had to do training and pass like an exam of like maneuver, learn my maneuvers and stuff like that. But they'd only ever run the testing on a certain time, and it was impossible for me to make that time, so I was just forever a cadet. But it was fun. Had some good fun playing in a regiment, just because, yeah, you just organise more, and it's fun having. And recently, I've played War of Rights where I've not been part of a regiment, and when people want to play the game and play it properly is when I think it's most fun. So, I got Perry metal miniatures for the Italian Renaissance, so it's a bit more expensive. Yeah, I the thing with metal miniatures is they're very nice. And it just depends the scale of your project and the scale of your budget. I think if you can afford it, then absolutely. And I'm at a point now where when I was growing my collection, I used a lot of plastics. Plastic Perrys, because I was like, well, money. I want to build a big collection as cheap as I can. I feel like I've hit a point now where I don't need to really grow it much anymore. And that's where I think it opens it back up to metal miniatures now, where I'm like, well, actually, I want to spend £30 on a unit. Because I like the look of the unit and I want to do a good job of it. Rather than with plastics, you could spend half that. You spend £15 on a 24-man unit. And I think the plastic stuff can be sort of limited. There definitely seems to be more detail in metal sculpts. I think that's just the way it works. I like Perry because more minis for your money, plus they have a wider range of minis compared to Warlord. Yeah, definitely. I mean, talking about like the American Civil War range from Perry's, they've got a great selection of boxes, but their metal range that goes alongside it is humongous. And it covers most of the wall, really. You've got militias, You've got early war, mid-late war. You know, you've got rioters and stuff. If you want to do the New York draft riots, yeah, you can. They've got a great collection, and they're still releasing stuff for it. You know, it's probably a good few years ago now, actually, but they released, since I've been following them with the American Civil War and whatnot. Yeah, they hadn't released stuff for ages, and then they came out of nowhere with the Colonel pack, some mounted colonels and flag bearers. So it just goes to show that they're, you know, I guess it's just whatever tickles their fancy at the time. They might jump back into the American Civil War at some point and go, you know, we need to, or we would like to add, you know, more to it. I'm not sure what they could add really. I'm not sure what miniatures they feel like they need to add to their range. But it's nice to know that they're prepared to go back to it. The only things that maybe some more personality packs, so maybe some more named generals they could do, but that's what you need to. Someone says, yeah, my War of Rights regiment has the same. Training happens on a Saturday and a Sunday, same time as my Holdfast events. Yeah, no, that's a shame. But I remember the regiment I was in at the time, they were doing they were doing a campaign. So it was a fictional campaign. It wasn't set during the American Civil War. They had their own sort of world it was set in. But they were using the game to obviously carry out battles and stuff. So you do a game and then it would affect their campaign map and stuff, which I thought that was cool. It's a shame they didn't do it as an American Civil War campaign, but it was still fun. Be worth it when it's done. It's just tiring. I try to add a few metals here and there to give some weight to the bases. Oh yeah, 100%. There is nice having a weightier base, I must admit. You can feel that with my artillery where I've got periplastics. So here's some periplastics, and then admittedly this is it's a mix of metals, but yeah, big difference. But yeah. Oh hey Raph, welcome in. Welcome in. Is 100 miniatures an army or a pipe block? I have a feeling I know where this is going. Steve says my Bavarian cavalry are all metal, so heavy to carry. That's the thing. If you've got a whole metal army, yeah, you're gonna do your back out taking it to the games club. You get them reinforced miniature backpacks, just to be able to carry them. I only have 6 infantry, 48 dismounted cavalry, then 7 or 8 officers in metal. That's a nice chunk, mate. Cavalry as well in metal. It's even heavier. You got horses. I've got one of my Irish brigades a metal regiment. One of my Stonewall brigades is a metal regiment. I want to say that's it for now. I've got a couple of metal regiments on the painting table. So I bought some. They're not labelled as 14th Brooklyn, but they're the same uniform as the 14th Brooklyn. I brought them in metal before Warlord released their plastics. So when Warlord came out, I decided, well, I'm going to do them as the 14th Brooklyn. So I got this other regiment sat there, metal. So yeah, I think I've said before I'm going to do them up to the 11th. I want to say 11th Indiana, which were a similar uniform to the or similar style uniform to the 14 Brooklyn, but it was grey, which again is just a bit different. I need to look into that again and just make sure I'm happy with what I'm doing, but yeah. This guy's got a shotgun on him. It's cool. Some good poses on these Studio Story minis, if they are tricky to paint. Steve said definitely a pike block. Wink effects. Yeah. The only thing the Perry don't really have is greatcoats for the American Civil War. Yeah, I tell you what, you're correct. I thinking about that. I think a greatcoat plastic box set would be very good. Because the thing is, like, there's no reason for Perry's to have another go at a plastic box set for the American Civil War, because they've got it, like, they've got everything you could need. But yeah, I think if I could choose, if they said, all right, we'll make what you want, I would choose a plastic greatcoat box set, because I think you could just do a bit like the plastic Napoleonic stuff that comes with greatcoats. You know, you could just have a greatcoat body holding a gun, and then just have interchangeable, or a bit like the current American Civil War plastic system works. You just swap out the hats. So yeah, they could literally just do that. That'd be very nice, and massively appreciated by the community, I think. However, I don't think we'll see it, which is a shame. But I mean, they've got metal greatcoats, right? One of my Stonewall Brigade is their metal greatcoat sculpts. But yeah, if I could choose, that'd be nice. I don't know if it would be impossible to make. Maybe we'll have a whip round. We'll have a whip round, get some money together, and ring up the Perrys. And we'll go, hey, we want some plastic greatcoat inventory, please. Or we just start a YouTube petition. But yeah, that would, I feel like, again, the Perrys have a business like model of, they just do what they enjoy doing, which is lovely. That's great, a nice idea. So yeah, we might eventually see it, but I guess I'd also argue they don't need to put time and effort into something that's sort of covered already. Which a plastic kit isn't covered, but they do metal greatcoats. But yeah, a plastic greatcoat kit, a bit like their Napoleonic French greatcoats. That come in their plastic kit. I think that sort of similar sprue would just work nice. I would just buy it to have a Winter Irish Brigade. Yeah, I would do more greatcoat regiments. It'd be nice just to have, yeah, just a big chunk of them. Because then, yeah, the occasional time you do want to do some sort of more colder weather battle, you've got it all there ready to go. Like Fredericksburg, for example. Greatcoats are pretty much universal. Only different hats have them a mix between the generalized plastic infantry box set and then the charging or right shoulder shift arms from the CSU's Unibox. Yeah, it would be cool to have. It would be cool to have. Oh, Perry, please, please, please. Hear my cries. But we can dream. You never know. But one day I might meet the Perrys. And I promise I'll say to him, if I raise some money, can you do a plastic greatcoat kit? Because, yeah, I think it'd be nice. Oh, we've done a good chunk. Meet the Perry sounds like a sequel to Meet the Parrots. A boy can dream. A boy can dream. I think Studio Storia have plans for a greatcoat inventory set soon. Might be worth keeping an eye out for that. But there's already images of their sculpts out with that. I think on one of the Kickstarters they had it as a just sort of a taster showing off it. So yeah, that'll be coming out at some point. A few years ago, I got the Kickstarter for Operation Plunder and the Hurt Gun Forest, which has many units in trench coats for late World War II. Oh, nice. I was looking at some. Admittedly, this is 15mm, but is it? Oh, I can't remember now. March of War. Is that a manufacturer? But they done a lot of British and American in greatcoats. They look lush. I think if I were to do World War II again, it would be probably winter paratroopers, American paratroopers. Just like the look. Right, that's all the saddles done. Huzzah! Oh, I like Studio Sora. I only have 3 models from them. I wish I had a 3D printer. Colonel Patrick Kelly, Father William Corby, and other ones I still have. I lost my General Mega. Ah, shame. Sorry to hear it. He's probably just hidden behind a... I don't know what. Yeah, Studio Sora is nice. I mean, I would... I've said it before about they're quite true scale with their sculpts, which can make things fiddly when you're taking them off the prints and stuff because everything's a little bit thinner and fragile. But yeah, they're nice. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, these are all Studio Story, what I'm painting up at the moment, and they're round with details. I showed these guys off earlier, but this is Studio Storia, which again, some nice details in there. What they've done nice as well, they've done different gun options and stuff, which is good. So there's quite a few with different bayonets and whatnot. You've probably put it in your pile of shame, you've forgotten about it. Yeah, good chance of it, mate. If that pile of shame's as big as my one, then yeah, it's could easily be lost. Right, we're gonna do black now. Oh, I'm feeling tired actually. Oh, sorry. Um. Ooh. Ah. Right. Let's keep this one. It's holding its nib a bit, which is good. Right, so I'm going to do the stirrups. I'm going to do the black leather because the boots, like the boots and that I've done are brown. So I'll break it up with the black. Once the stirrups are done, then it's sort of probably... I know what I should be doing. And that's just going in and neating up all the bits I've missed. So just going in with the white and just... But I'm impatient, I don't want to do that. I just want to paint over the top of all the bits I missed. Which I know in the long run will look not as good. Too impatient. Oh, I'm excited. They're looking good. Yeah, actually, well, saying that, probably the next bit. I want to get on to painting the trooper is what I want to do. But it's going to be bed rolls next. Which again, I don't know if I just go simple and paint them all the same colour. The bed rolls, or try do something a bit different. Sure. Nice. Yeah, I think if I were to do lances again, I don't think I'd print off these chaps again. I think I'd go try give Battlecat a go, print off those lancer arms and fit them to some Perry's cav. The one thing I say about the Battlecat sculpt 3D printing stuff is if you go onto their website to buy their, or My Mini Factory to buy their files, there's very little information or renders showing what you've got. It's all very much a digital render of the file, and that's it. There's not like lots you can scroll through. When I know there's lots of choice on what heads you can like change the heads, so you can choose what different heads you want for your guys, because that then determines what different hats you get. So you can kind of, for example, with the cavalry, you can have kepi hats, or they've got sort of like a hardy hat with a feather in it, which all looks great, but it's because it's not really clearly shown in the digital renders, you don't actually know. You kind of got to do a bit of digging with on the description to really understand it, which I think is a shame, because at a quick glance you might miss it. But then also, I might be understanding it wrong, and then I buy it, and then it's not got what I want, so it's a bit confusing. Tom says, friend of mine For his lancers, use Perry cavalry and then the Perry Napoleonic lancer arms. Yeah, that makes sense. It's good. Good idea. Yeah, that would do it. I don't know if I give these guys some red blankets, because the little flag on their lance is going to be red. I'd like to do that red. Not sure. I don't want all the blanket rolls just to be sort of a grey or a black. It's hard to tell. Oh, this one's actually... I snapped the bottom of the thing off by accident. Oh, what? You don't really know. Right, let's do these stirrups. So I might shift onto trying to finish off these first Virginia for cavalry first, just because they're going to be a lot quicker to paint than the Texas Lancers, because their uniform's more simple. That's it, really. The only thing is this first Virginia, I'm going to have to be a bit careful with the piping on the jackets, where I notoriously get impatient and rush it and then do a bad job, so that's the only thing. Make sure I'm doing a good job there. And I know I said it last time and probably the time before, but I need to get these flags ordered. Hey, what I have been doing today, which is frustration. So, any of you in the UK got the rugby on at the moment, and I was out for a party, so I missed the England game. So what I normally do with the rugby is I'll watch the highlights of the games after the day after. But what I want to do this time is just wait and watch the whole game. And it does come out on YouTube, though. We'll put the game out on YouTube. But it's not released yet. So I've been sat here all day, especially when I was doing some hobby stuff earlier, when I was doing all the basing. I thought to myself, oh, it'd be nice to just sit down and watch the rugby. But no, it's not being released yet. It's just frustrating. Because, yeah, I want to watch the game. I know the result. It's just be nice to watch it. Got to think about what. Here's a question to you then, everyone in the chat, or if you're watching this back on YouTube. What colour should we do the canteens? Now you got tin, so I could go for a silver. You got a wood, which I could do, or blue. Now I said earlier I was leaning towards the blue purely because it adds colour to the model, which I think would be nice. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. And what we'll do, we can do that next stream. Yeah. So everyone's thoughts on that. I said I'm leaning towards that blue just because it just adds a bit of colour. Rule of cool, add a bit of colour to the miniature. Thomas says, I only really watch Six Nations, not really a rugby fan. Played it a while ago. I mostly watch hurling and Gaelic. For canteens, I batch groups of 3, so maybe 3 tin, 3 blue. Yeah, Thomas, I try watch rugby where I can. So it's autumn internationals at the moment, so yeah, I try and watch it where I can. But yeah, not a bad idea doing batch. Part of me just wants to do it uniform because I'm lazy. Tim, they are rounded canteens. So I know flat canteens, were they traditionally wood? If they were flattened, but these appear to be rounded, which then I would assume would be tin. Again, just having the blue, I think it just adds something nice to look at, but don't have to. Just it's whoever sells it to me, really. Whoever convinces me. Cool, I played tight prop on University Arizona rugby team when I was a student many years ago. Oh, very nice. I used to play wing. I started off like flanker and stuff, and then I went to wing, and then I tore my ACL. Had it repaired. Then about 13 months later, I did it again. And then I had a baby, a child. So then I was like, you know what, it's not worth it. So I stopped playing. I coached for a while, but yeah, I just watch it now, really. And I'm older. When I played, I was a lot younger. What was it now? Yeah, I'd have been sort of mid-20s now and not. So it's a young man's game, right? There is a couple of sort of like coiled rope on some of these saddles, so I think I'm gonna go paint that skeleton horde. There's one, there's one, there's one. Did he have one as well? He's got one yet. What a bugler. Bugler. But yeah, we're getting there with the cav. It's looking nice. I'm a lot happier with the horses. I was a bit unsure when I first did them, but now I'm looking a bit liking them now. Thomas said, I played hurling until I got my knee shattered by a spice on the stick. I was only 16 when it happened. Concept. Yeah, mate, that sounds horrible, but I'm the same with my knee. I get I get issues with my knee now, just because it's not healed right and it needs cut apart and rebuilding, which I don't really want to deal with. So yeah, I'm kind of, and I've just started running. So the last 3 months I've been running, and I've actually had this week off from running because I was a bit under the weather. So I run 3 times a week, and I was a bit under the weather. So I was like, you know, I'm not going to risk running just because I don't want to go into it half-assing it and then just ending my run early, which would frustrate me. So I had a week off. Back then I just noticed it, like when I've been running 3 times a week, I've noticed that my knee's struggling a bit. But having a week off, actually, I felt really good. So I had a run today, which I felt really good. But yeah, I kind of, with my knee, it's more of a more dynamic stuff. It can cause an issue, which is like rugby and sports. So that's why I don't do it. Cav with great coats and hardy hats. Any ideas what I can paint them as? I'm gonna chuck a wild one out there and Provost Guard. Army Provost, Army Police. You could paint them as that. And they can go around keeping an eye on everyone at Fredericksburg. That's what just comes to my mind with great coats, is something like Fredericksburg or something like that. I'm not sure. That's the thing is I'm not massively clued up on that campaign, so I'm not sure what engagements really the cavalry played, what role they played. So I can't really give you any information on that. I don't know. What company is that with? Cav with great coats and hardy hats. What's Sorry, Union. Yes, Tim, Union. Provost. Just because something like that's seen in Gods and Generals, when that Provost General rolls over, like rocks up and shouting and barking at everyone because they're looting the city. So what company are they from? I'd like to see. I might give them a Google and check out some photos if you let me know. Thomas said my team used to be called the Hatchet Men because every time we played either one of us, either you or the team you were playing covered in blood. Yeah, I'm lucky play. I don't know. I've not seen such bad scenes. I played my senior rugby for about 4 or 5 years before I got injured. I've never seen anything terribly bad. We're all well behaved, mostly. Hi Matt, watching here from the UK. Oh hey Kate, hello. That's my sister, in case anyone's wondering. Pretend like you don't know me, unless there's another Kate Hunt, perhaps. Hello. Got to wait for stuff to dry before I again impatience set in. A little bit of rope. The Kate as we live and breathe. Okay, that's Mark in case you're wondering. The Mark. Right. So yeah. With the torch on the camera, it's hard to see because the trooper which is yet to be painted, it's just really bright. But they're looking alright. It's just the blanket rolls I can hear paint. Just got to figure out the blanket rolls. I think I'll just be boring and just do them all a grey. Hurling is a blood sport. It used to be not to require helmets or anything. Now it's gone safety mad, no splices, and many other stupid rules, in my opinion. Yeah, I think ultimately you want to be safe, though, don't you? I would say that with rugby, that like they've changed a lot recently with the rules and stuff, but ultimately it's there for player safety. That is very well painted, bud. Thank you, Mark. I would argue it's not massively compared to what people get up to out there, but thank you, I appreciate it. I try. I try paint to a standard that I don't spend all year painting, basically. I can crack on and get on with it. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a poll up in the week about these canteens. Purely for fun. But I don't want to sway anyone's vote, but I really want to do blue. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Anyway, that's that done. So we've actually made a good head start on a lot of this. I think I'll see. That's this. Do I just crack on? He loves a pot. I've done one poll, Mark. Done a poll. Do I? Let's round out what colours we could use for blanket rolls. So we can use an off black, which I'm not going to use, in fact. What else have we got? Let's go through my bits and bobs. Garrick Sewer. What's that doing there? Bit of so the silicanum grey I was thinking of using for blankets. Pretty sure. Got right. Fire drake we need for doing the wood. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not sure what colours to go for. We do have Grave Lord Grey. Rugby has no rules, only laws. It's a gentleman's game, what are you on about? Yeah, I think maybe Agaros Dunes, which is what I'm currently using for my butternut, which is actually, looking back, it's probably a bit yellow for the butternut, but it does look nice. So that, but then I'm going to use, that's, yeah, maybe not that. So the silicanum grey I'm going to be using for the uniform on the 1st Virginia, because they're in grey uniform. So that probably rules that out for blankets. So yeah, I don't know. Not very sure. Not sure. Maybe I'll just fudge it a bit and I'll do like yellow blankets on the 1st Virginia. And then grey blankets on the Lancers. So that guy's... I'm just looking at photos now. So I wonder if I've got a... maybe I'll pick one up, get like a bluey grey. And I can use that for... So on the back of the horse... So on the front of the horse, I think it's going to be like this rubberized blanket. That's not the best pose to use, is it? Let's use this bugler man. Yeah, so on the back of the horse there, I think that's going to be like a bedroll. So I might do some reference pictures I'm quickly looking at now. That looks like a light grey blue. So I might look at getting a paint for that. And then on the front, it's a dark black, which that's probably the rubberized blanket or rubberized sheet I was talking about, which they wore or used for tent stuff. So, which I think would be fine to use Black Templar for that, because that's like an off black. So I think I'll use that. And I just need the blue for the back, which I don't think I've got. I think I'll have to pick one up. I've got a couple of... I do have a couple of What if we? Let's try this one out. We're gonna save it for next episode anyway. Right. On speaking about the provosts, this is Thomas saying about you talked about earlier. That's something I think I might bring up in our next campaign meeting. We'll have like a provost guard going around, or maybe have mischievous infantry. Can't find the info on where I bought the cav, but it's a designer out of one of the stands. I sent you a picture of full cav. Okay, Tim. Let me find out. I'll check that out in a bit. Once I'm off the stream and I'm in bed, I'll have a look. But yeah, no, that sounds quite interesting. I'll give it a ganders. Right, this is very blue. I don't think that's gonna... It's not the pale blue I'm after, I don't think. I could water it down, but I don't want to water down paints because it then adds a level of inconsistency. Right, not that one, not that, not that, not that. I think I ordered some paints a while ago. You cannot. So I think I know the design you're on about. I've seen some of their work before. I cannot recall the name. Maybe I'll do a bit of googling at some point and find out. Let's see what this is like. I got given a paint from Oh, hang on. Let's not use that. So I got given a paint by TT Combat a long time ago when I ordered something. 1000 Fathom Blue. But from memory, I keep thinking it's a contrast paint and it's not. Right, these are... I've got these colours as well. Let's quickly test them out. They might be the blue we're after. I can just pick up a paint. I live over the road from a hobby shop, so I can just do 2 paints at once. But I think I possibly of having mutinous. Oh, sorry. Think of possibly having mutinous units. Provost Guard will in effect counter mutinous units, adding a bit of dynamic and randomness to our table. Yeah, especially like you look at was it the second main infantry that basically mutiny and they join the 20th main at Gettysburg. Yeah, you could have something like that. Basically, you could have, say, mutinous units where if it's left unchecked, you just basically have more unit depletion. Where maybe if you have Provost Guard within the unit, it avoids or reduces that sort of depletion. Who knows? Cool idea though. Let me know how you get on. Oh, need a paint shaker. Right. I don't even open this one, I don't think. Saying that, I think I prefer the first one. What was it? Tidal Wave? Right, that's the one. That's the next one I put down. Keep on the time just because we're getting to the end of the stream. But I'm just going to faff around with these colours in it. What I'm on about now is this the blanket roll, which looks like a bit of a faded blue. Which I know I've done that colour already in normal paints, but I want to go contrast. So I'm just going to see if I've got something that would work for it. Right, this is Pilar Glacial. Which is probably not right. It's real thin contrast paint, that is. If not, I can go have a look. The second main, just before Gettysburg, if a mutinous unit isn't dealt with, they just leave the table and desert. Having a unit of progress in your command will be able to keep them on the board. Yeah, that's a cool idea, Tom. Cool idea. Yeah, it just adds an element to it, isn't it? That's a bit of fun. Come on. That's good enough. Right. I know this is going to be way too blue. Yeah. Not that one. I think we're out of blues. Or we got the standard Union blue. Pastel Seafoam won't work. Alright. Well, I give up. I'll have to go to the shop and get some. But yeah, we've made some good headway into this now. Blanket rolls. So I'm going to do the blanket rolls, and then the strapping on the blanket rolls, I'm just doing a black leather, I think, keeping with the theme. And then yeah, then it's on to the trooper. So yeah, if I can pick up that paint by next week, then hopefully blanket rolls, and then yeah, on to troopers. We're almost there. Doing the trousers. Yeah, I'd say the first Virginia should be easy because they're all in grey. It's just be the Texas ones, and I just want to get that looking nice. So I need to look into how I want to go about colour schemes with the Texas. Yeah. We're getting there. The white will slowly disappear. And we'll have some fully finished units soon. But yeah, I'll end the stream there. What time is it now? About 10:15. That's not too bad. We've been going 2 hours, 2.25 hours. I'm going to end it there. Thank you for everyone who's watching, and continue to watch and support the channel. If you've missed, or if you want to go back and watch us starting these units, obviously this is part of a playlist, which is, I think, Marg's big Sunday stream playlist, where we've got the old streams as well with the artillery that we've done up. I've just finished basing the artillery today, so I'm actually going to chuck out a video just showing off that. At some point whenever I get around to it. But yeah, so go check them out in the playlist. And yeah, if not, I'll be back next Sunday. So next Sunday 8 o'clock, I'll see you all there. So good night, everybody. Bye 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 bye.